The other night, I was scrolling through the horror section of the Good Old Games catalog, from lowest to highest price, as I often do, and a game caught my eye, not only because it was dirt cheap at the moment, but also because I've never played a spoopy game about rocks. Barrow Hill, The Curse of the Ancient Circle, is a point-and-click horror adventure game developed by JrayTier Studios and published by Lighthouse Interactive. The game takes place in the county of Cornwall in the fictional town of Barrow Hill, where after being forced to spend the night, you'll have to uncover what happened to the locals and the mysteries surrounding an archaeological expedition taking place in the enigmatic stone circle. See, that's what I like about small studios. They take an already proven formula and put it in a new context. That's fun. The atmosphere of this game is amazing, and that's because even though the town is not real, that doesn't mean the locations depicted in the game are the same. In fact, a lot of the more mystical locations like the Stone Circle or the Ancient Well are modeled and inspired by real-life monuments and structures, making the environments and places featured feel authentic and even a bit nostalgic. Like, as soon as you start the game, you can feel the love the creators had for the history and folklore of their motherland. And reading through the documents shared by the studio explaining the development process and the decision making behind the game makes you appreciate the spotlight they gave to the places, stories and myths they have been hearing and seeing since childhood, and that inspired them to create and share something new with the world. The documents I'm talking about were posted on their old website, and fortunately you can still read them through the Wayback Machine, so I'll leave you the links in the description just in case you are interested in archaeology, game development, or in learning more about the game. But anyway, without further ado, I present to you Barrow Hill.
You're listening to BHR, your local radio station on top of the world. It's exactly 15 minutes to 8 and this is Emma Harry. I'll be with you from now till late past the witching hour, and I'm inviting you to stay right here with me. It's 15 degrees outside tonight up here on Barrow Hill. The weatherman's trying to spoil it for us. He says we may be in for some rain tonight, but from where I'm sitting it looks like it will pass us by.
Gotta say, pretty nice intro cutscene, especially the girl doing the voiceover. Oh, what a lovely voice. It reminds me of those independent radio stations from back in the day that would only play indie rock and maybe jazz from time to time. Unfortunately, I don't think those kinds of stations exist anymore, at least where I live, but hey, fortunately now we have the What Toi podcast. Am I right, boys?
This is Emma Harry on top of the world tonight. Not just any night. For those who don't know, it's the autumn equinox. An important date in the pagan calendar. And you've got 12 hours of darkness ahead. So let's celebrate. Like Alice, we're off down the rabbit hole. I've got 4 in a row for you, coming up right here on BHR.
Anyway, apparently, while traveling somewhere, we never really get any information on why the main character is driving or where he or she is driving to, so yeah. Our car breaks down in basically the middle of nowhere, Conrad, Southwest England to be exact, and on top of that, as the lady on the radio said, it is the autumn equinox, which means we probably will have to find a place to stay the night. Getting out of the car, we find ourselves surrounded by a beautiful but haunting rural landscape filled with sinister-looking trees, mushrooms growing out of damp rocks, and 2 massive pillar-like boulders at each side of the road. Before we go any further, let's just talk about the controllers, or basically menus, because you only use the cursor and the left click for everything. At the top of the screen, you'll find your key items, as well as the main menu where you can save, load, or quit the game at any time. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the normal items you you find throughout the playthrough, and to move you just go to the corners of the screen until you get the little hand pointing to the direction you want to go. Lastly, to inspect something, your cursor will turn into a magnifying glass, and if you can interact with it, a little hand with a wrench will appear. Trying to go back through the stone pillars shows some sort of wavy force field, so I guess we gotta go follow the main road. A bit further ahead we find a weird looking structure to the right of the road, and on the opposite side a set of wooden stairs. Near the structure we notice a stone slab with some engravings, but the letters have faded, making it impossible to discern the message written on it. Taking a closer look at the stone wall, we see a big arc leading to what I assume is a cave, but given that we don't have any light sources with us at the moment, we'll leave the spelunking for later. On the other side, the wooden stairs leads us to a trail, but not wanting to get lost, we return to the main road. We keep walking and arrive at the outskirts of a service station. Looking around, we find a mailbox, and because we are monsters with no manners or regard for other people, we pull out a letter and just start reading people's personal correspondence. Apparently, a lady called Elsie is telling another lady called Marianne how much she hates cell towers, especially the one behind the service station, and that's it. She just really hates them. We approach the service station, but something is off. There is a car running in the middle of the station, but no trace of the driver, and some weird dust piles are scattered in a few places. Some of them even have toys, books, and bottles around them. We go straight to the bathroom because, I don't know, I just like bathrooms in spooky games, and find a matchbox on top of a toilet seat, as well as what appears to be evidence of some freaky practices going on in the station. Finally, entering the main building, the first thing we see is a vacuum, some chairs, and a bunch of posters, booklets, and drawings talking about the ancient monuments of Barrow Hill. By the way, for those of you who didn't know, and don't worry about it, I was one of those before playing the game and making this video. A barrow, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is a large burial mound of earth or stones. In some of these posters, we find out that the circle is thought to have existed since 2500 BC, or even before that, being tied to ancient Celtic communities of the area who had multiple legends and stories of the place trying to explain its origin. In one of them, some fairy folk living in the hill were so happy that it pissed off a huge fire monster that then died trying to reach the mountain and became the stone circle. In another, a king got bamboozled into watching Netflix with an imp, as you do, so one of his homies decapitated him, and the head ordered the soldiers to build a temple around it. And in the last one, a big scary guy in charge of the forces of evil got sealed inside Barrow Hill, and the local kings became tall rocks to guard the prison. By the way, these stories are actually kind of cool, and I am oversimplifying a lot of stuff that actually is kind of relevant later on. So if you want, you can pause the video right now to read them yourself. Go on, I'll give you 5 seconds for each page, okay? And the next one. Okay, you good? Good, let's move on then. After reading every single bit of lore, we check the office to see if anyone here can give us an explanation as to what is going on. And luckily, a lad by the name Ben gives us a sort of rundown of what has happened to everyone.
Who are you? You can't. It wasn't there. But then it came up. I heard it. They were... And it... Oh my God! The power went. Then there was a huge surge and all the lights flared in the forecourt. I went into the kitchen, but it was too dark to see. When I came back out, it was there, standing by the motel in the gloom. I couldn't light that stupid lantern anyway. You might need it if you're out there. With that thing, you'll be able to get about easier. If you can get it working. Can't you hear it? Searching. What was it? They told me, don't work up here. My mum, she said it was a bad place. To stay away. Why didn't I listen? Those stupid old stories and the freaks that tell them. Maybe they were right. Stay away. Stay away from the Barrow.
Okay, so first the lights went off, then there was a huge surge, and then something was outside. But everyone else was gone? That doesn't really tell us much. We explore the rest of the restaurant, examining every item in the tables, the walls, and once behind the register, we find a note from George, the owner of the station, asking our mate Ben to deliver dinner to room number 2, where some guy called Phil is staying. We also get the code for the room's lock. Exploring further, we enter a dark kitchen. Instinctively, we flip the light switch, but nothing happens, so there's probably a blown fuse somewhere. Fortunately, we find the lantern Ben was talking about, and after lighting it on, we locate the fuse box, and with some conveniently placed wire, we return power to the room. Being able to actually see where we're going, we start looking around the kitchen, picking up some egg cups, but after not finding anything else of value or interest, we go check that room number 2 the note was talking about. Unlocking the door gives us access to a cozy, if not small room, decorated with drawings and maps taped to the walls. Because we don't respect anyone's privacy, we start checking every corner of the room. On top of a desk, we find some bumper stickers of Barrow Hill Radio, the local station, and a radio.
And this is Emma Harry, back on the air again after that power cut. I'll be your nightlight till around about 1 o'clock, so long as we don't have any more power outs. I've braved outside to fire up the generator and I'm up and running under my own steam. High tonight at the BHR station, alone here on Barrow Hill. Though I could swear I saw someone up here with me a moment ago. With a little bit less daylight this time of year, you can imagine anything in that ever-increasing darkness. Why not give me a call and say hello on 585? And in case you've forgotten, it's the autumn equinox, the beginning of autumn, or for those from across the pond, the beginning of fall. And while the daylight hours are dwindling, there's a harvest festival celebration tomorrow down by the harbour. But if you're so excited you can't sleep, well, stay up with me and I'll figure out some way to keep you occupied.
Well, fortunately, it seems that the radio lady is safe. Next to the radio, we find a cell phone and some correspondence between Lucy from the Archaeological Studies Department at the Oxbridge Institute and Pete. By reading the letters, as well as a diary that's laying on top of the bed, we managed to get a better idea of who was staying here and why. So, apparently, an experienced archaeologist called Conrad Morse managed to get the go-ahead from the British government to start an excavation on Barrow Hill. Something incredible given how hard it is to get one of those approvals, especially in a place that hasn't been touched by anyone in its entire history. Looking for an assistant, he decided to offer a young promising lad by the name of Peter Aston the job. That's the guy who was living in this room and whose privacy we are violating right now. Conrad also secured an alliance with the Oxbridge Institute, where he would send them soil and material samples, and the institute would analyze them in their state-of-the-art laboratories. Pete arrived at Cornwall in June, and by July, the two of them had already mapped out the whole place, even paying a geophysics team to survey the top of the hill. After that, the digging started around the stones, and what they found were clay pots at the base of each pillar with unknown material inside of them. The only one that didn't have a clay pot was the century stone, but around it there were some charcoal-like lumps in the soil, which were also sent for analysis. The more they dug, the more silent and contemplative Morse became, always writing frantically in his old notebook and drinking from his hip flask. It got to a point where he even locked himself away in his room for a whole day. After a few weeks, a group of people started protesting against the excavation, and someone even started messing with the equipment at night, moving or breaking tools and even stealing Pete's diary. Also, around that time, it's when Lucy starts sending letters to Pete. Apparently, she already knew our boy, and it is implied that they might have had a relationship. Or at least they both liked each other, but were such big pussies that they never confessed their feelings to one another before going their separate ways. So it was a huge surprise when they ended up basically working together. But the news of the protest and an article condemning the dig made her worry about Pete's safety. And that's when she decided to connect with him again, even making plans to visit my boy at the site after finishing all the analysis and stuff. Due to all the vandalism going on in the site, George allowed Conrad and Pete to store their equipment in an empty room, and it couldn't have been better timing because for the next few days it poured day and night. Finally, the last entry is dated September 19th, and Pete, excited but a bit insecure of what they are about to do, talks about the beginning of Phase 2, which consists in authenticating and maybe even dating the Barrow itself. But that's not the last message from the boy. In a letter dated September 21st and addressed to Lucy, we find the last update on Pete, where he notes how fixated with the site Conrad has become, only to stop mid-paragraph and leave a last cryptic message.
Weird. Lucy, listen, something very strange is going on here. At first I thought it was my imagination. I'll tell you more in person.
Oh shit, so maybe the protesters kidnapped everyone here? Or maybe someone or something else did. Oh damn, this is getting interesting. Before leaving the room, we place the phone in its charging station and check the map taped to the wall to get a better idea on where to go next. We explore a path where the protesters would often hang out, but we only find a pamphlet, more ash piles, and some mushrooms. Going back to the main road and past the station, we find a broken phone booth, from which a cacophony of distorted voices replaces the dial tone and fills the space. Further ahead, a scarecrow guards a closed door that leads to a swamp, and past that, we stumble upon a crashed jeep with the radio in the driver's seat and some documents scattered right next to it. But before we continue, for those of you who don't like spoilers or that might want to experience the game by yourselves, skip to this timestamp. Or don't. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do.
Ahoy, mateys! This is BHR. It's Emma Harry beaming a signal across the sea from the crew and the Jolly Sailor. Fishing 15 miles out tonight. Here's a warm hello and keep a watch out for any dark clouds heading in from the west. I haven't rechecked with the weatherman just yet, so I can't say for sure about that rain. But there's a bright moon in the sky and a gentle breeze. You can almost smell that equinox. Quiet, Quincy. I'm Emma Harry, and if you don't have anything to do right now, I'll be right here playing music all through the witching hour till about 1 o'clock. Quincy's here to keep me company, grinning like a Cheshire cat, and I'm here to keep you company. We've got a caller on the line. Hello, you're live on air at BHR.
Get away! Get away! No! No! Save me! You've got to get me out of here!
I know this voice.
It's here! I saw it from the window! It got them and it's after me too!
Ben.
It got all of them! We're the only ones left! You've got to run! Run, don't you see?
Ben,
He woke something
is
up.
that you?
It's here and it's hungry. All those stories, they're all true.
Are you
People
messing
have
about?
vanished Here, been taken for him. Taken to it by his own army. They could be anywhere, anything. He controls it all. The rocks,
What's going on?
feeding. I thought I was safe, but I'm not. It's only a matter of time. Get me out. Let me out. It will hear me.
That's a little strange. I hope that was a joke. I'll try and give him a call back. If there are any other late night listeners who want to give me a call, the number, as always, is 585-21.
Welp, it seems that little bro is losing his mind. But what did he mean by they've been taken to it by its own army and he controls it all? Who does? It seems that Ben knows more than what he already told us. Looking through the documents right next to the Jeep, we pick up Conrad's personal PDA, read a news article about the disappearance of a previous archaeological party that was studying the hill, and find an interesting note written by Conrad himself as well as his ID.
He is coming for me. I hear the sentry crashing through the undergrowth. He only knows where I am. He knows I tried to flee. Yet, I am trapped here. There is little time left for me. Why didn't I listen more closely to the whispers? Were they a warning or an instruction? Were they the voices from ghosts of the past? I thought I was beginning to understand the ancient monument, yet now I know I was just stumbling about in darkness. If only I had known what we were about to disturb when we opened the Barrow, when I disturbed the Barrow. He has been waiting for so long, waiting to be awoken once more. His hunter approaches. My time is almost over.
The sentry? Like, as in Sentry Stone? The one Pete wrote about in his diary? No. No. It must be something else. It ain't no way the rock is the monster, right? Right? Anyway, we check the PDA, and in one of the tabs we find a map of the hill. In another one, the live feed of some security cameras installed in the digging site by Conrad. And in the last tab, a note where he talks, again, about hearing whispers and setting something free. Okay, it appears that Conrad was going a bit crazy while exploring the monuments. But at least he wrote the code for his room's lock at the end of the note. What a considerate man. We beeline straight to his room, and holy, he was truly lost in the sauce. This even reminds me of that number 23 movie with Jim Carrey. Look it up, it's a really fun movie. Looking through the drawings, there's definitely a lot of monster and green man imagery. Also, reading through some scattered notes, we start getting the image of a man split between his scientific and logical mind and a superstitious and delirious side. Almost as if something was infiltrating his mind and taking over it like a parasite, with an artifact being at the center of most events described in his writing. Aside from the notes and drawings scattered throughout the whole room, we find a locked briefcase. Fortunately, while checking the trash, we collect the burned pieces of a note with a clue about the code to unlock it. And before going to the Jeep for the code, I remembered that desks have drawers, so we check them and there's a personal recorder.
July 28th. Progress with the dig goes well, despite the recent arrival of protesters. They have been causing havoc in the night, stealing and breaking much of our equipment. Strangely, they decided not to touch the one already broken thing, that laughable GPS unit. I have fixed up some wireless cameras and configured my PDA, allowing me to easily watch the dig site. Now that we have verified the stones have been standing for such a long time, I'm looking forward to uncovering what lies forgotten. September 21st. I returned to the trench in the Barrow this evening, out of the prying eyes of my assistant. I knew today that we had excavated within layers of something. I dug further and found 2 artifact fragments at the bottom of the trench. And the voices of my nightmares in my mind. I have taken the artifacts, pieces of a seal, a key, and hidden them away. No one will find them now. I have scattered them. The voices told me no one will know what they are or where they came from. That nearby ruin continues to sink into the swamp. One of those artifacts will be very well hidden. What is going on? I found myself standing by the altar stone, pages of my study notes scattered around me. Charred, ruined, how can this be? I no longer feel in my right mind. I have hidden one of the artifact fragments close by, under my own watchful gaze. Why am I compelled to do these things? What force is driving me? I feel as though I've lost control. I made a note of the artifact's position before my mind fully cleared, and I forgot once more. I awoke as if from a daydream, yet it was nightmarish. In my hand were pages of gibberish and strange scribbled drawings. The stones call to me, and yet I can't hear the words clearly. What is it they need? What offerings do they ask me to bring them? It's alive and watching. It sees all. It's slumbered for centuries, waiting to be awoken once more to judge. A sentinel from ancient times. The stones are its guardians and protectors. The broken key, the seal I removed. Now the sentry begins the hunt. What have I done? What have I done?
To get the code, we only need to solve the equation written in the license plate, which in my case was 4 times 68,578. Inside the briefcase, we find the analysis results for the samples taken from the site and from the containers located at the bases of each stone. Inside urn number 1, they found traces of oil. Inside number 2, a mix of fruits. In number 3, bones from both Melanogrammus Glyphinus in the Gadidae species? Whatever the freak that is. For number 4, a combination of seeds from the quercus tree, the seeds from a small red fruit, and some unidentified fungus. Number 5, some barley. Number 6, sodium chloride. And for number 7, something that increases the humidity of the soil. So like water? Anyway, as for the samples taken in front of the sentry stone, the results identified the chunks as bones, but the overall results were inconclusive. With the new information, we go talk to Ben, just in case he has more information for us.
Oh, it's you. I've been watching you on the CCTV camera. Walking about. Don't you know what's out there? I hear it. The voices in my head. They echo on and on and on. Timeless. Fearless. Faceless. It's heavy with sleep after feeding. It'll wake soon. It'll come for you. It's tracking you, following your scent. And mine. I hope you're next. Then maybe it'll leave me alone. The shadow moves. Even with that lamp you'll not get far. It's only a matter of time before it finds you, hunts you down. If I can hide long enough, someone's bound to come. Maybe I can get away. And why shouldn't I? Why? Why? Maybe it was you all along, murderer, murderer. They were just arriving. They'd just driven in and it caught them, burnt them, cut them down as they ran. It happened in seconds. It couldn't have been real. I must have been dreaming. Get away from me!
And, after hearing his ramblings, we start exploring the places we've already been to just to verify that we haven't missed anything. Going back to the stone arch at the entrance of the town, we realize it was actually a well, and with the lantern we can illuminate its insides, revealing a candle puzzle for which we don't yet have a solution. Exploring around some more, we finally decide to take the path leading to the stone circle and... Oh my god, The stone is the one killing everyone. Well, at least this is a unique monster, never seen before in any other game. Okay, we can't go that way, so I guess we are missing something. After retracing our steps for like the third time, we remember the phone we left charging in Pete's room, and when we check on it, the battery is now full. So we turn it on and no signal. Wait, that's weird. Wasn't there a cell tower literally right behind this station? Maybe we need to get close to it to get a better signal. We go talk to Ben with the hopes of getting a key or something that lets us get to the tower, but instead we actually get something better.
It touched them and then they were gone. Absorbed. Disappeared. Torched to nothing. The screams, I can still hear them. See their faces as they ran towards the cafe, just after Conrad sped away in his jeep. That wasn't like him. He must have seen it. A sentry, a scout, a hunter, lashing out for its master, like being chased down by a dog, as if we were the trespassers. It won't get me in here. It won't find me now. You should hide too. You can't come in here. I'm not opening this door for anyone. Take this. Use it to get into the empty room. No one's in number 1. I've not seen anyone else, but you. Now go! Go and hide before you lure it in here.
We check the last room and find Conrad's GPS, allowing us to get the first artifact fragment. After that, I couldn't find the way to the cell tower, so I just started checking every corner of the map until I accidentally stumbled upon a path literally right next to the jeep leading to an old barn. Not gonna lie, navigating the map in this game is not a pleasant experience, especially because after playing the game for a while, you stop checking every direction and just go towards the obvious places of interest, allowing you to completely miss new routes or items. And add to that how dark some sections are, as well as how little of an area the torch illuminates, and it makes it really easy to get lost or to miss key items needed to make progress. All the doors are locked, so to access the barn we need to do some parkour with the help of a wooden box. Once up on the second floor, we find ourselves surrounded by boxes, rusty metal drums, and old wooden planks. Taking a step forward, we hear a crack and feel the old wooden floor collapse under our feet. After regaining our composure, we go back up through a ladder and arrive at what seems to be the base camp of the protesters. In here, we find an acorn, a diary detailing the operations of the university students leading the protest, and the weird behavior exhibited by Conrad at night when he was alone on the hill. Close to that, we can use a pair of binoculars to check the stone circle as well as checking some photos taken on a disposable camera. Funnily enough, after checking all the items upstairs, we try to leave but realize that we can no longer reach the window from which we entered the barn, meaning that we are stuck. Luckily, we managed to find a blowtorch and all the necessary attachments to hook it up to a gas tank conveniently located right next to the door. We melt the lock and get the freak out of here. Okay, enough messing around. Let's locate that cell tower. We go back to the station and after checking every corner of the building, we finally find the entrance to the back and get hit with what seems to be the only jump scare in the entire freaking game. Here we can finally see the tower, but before going in, we read a piece of newspapers hanging from a bin that mainly talks about a piece of bread with the face of a cat and about how much people hate them towers. They really do. We check on Ben while he pisses his pants and finally make our way to the stupid thing. Here we need to solve a puzzle by pressing buttons to reach a certain frequency and bada bing bada boom, we have a signal. I then tried to dial every single emergency number I remembered, but after realizing the devs didn't have a sense of humor, I went back to the station and dialed every number I could find posted on boards or written in advertisements.
You're through a Babs Cab's voicemail.
After satiating my morbid curiosity, I went and checked on Ben to see if maybe he had any numbers we could dial.
What are you doing? I can see you from the cameras. Hide, you fool, before you're taken. I've heard the stories. People disappear on this hill. But nobody believes that. It's just stories, things in the paper. Folk tales like those Mr. Morse laughs at. I've tried to call home. I tried to call anyone. But I can't get through. The phone, it just repeats the same noise over and over. I can't hear anyone, just whispering. I can't phone off this hill for help. I even tried phoning Emma at the radio station. Maybe it's just this phone. Maybe you can get through to somebody. Anyone.
You know what? That's actually not a bad idea. Let's call the BHR station and see what's up. Oh, by the way, we get the number by listening to the radio. And after dialing the number, we get this pseudo cutscene.
Hello, caller. You're through to BHR. We're off air right at the moment. There'll be... What's that? Oh my god. What's that? Calm down, Wincy. Wincy! Stop it. Down, Wincy! Who's there? Who's out there? Stop it! Wincy, calm down. Wincy! Come here! Where are you going? Wincy! 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 Oh my god! What the hell? Oh my... Wincy! Wincy!
No! Wincy! Oh no! God damn it! I need to stop playing games where the mascots die. Oh no! We rush to the entrance of the swamp and find the remains of a good boy. Taking a complete right, we arrive at the broadcast trailer, but there's not a soul to be found. Inside the trailer, we grab a newly bought metal detector, no batteries included though, and by guessing the hardest password ever, violate the privacy of yet another unsuspecting citizen. God, I'm sure that the CIA agent looking through my webcam right now must be extremely proud. The internet doesn't reach all the way out here, so we can only check the favorite sites, which are the weather page, a page with scientific names and their common counterparts, an original version of eBay, and a bakery's website? What the fuck? And the BHR website. Checking the local files, we find Emma's blog, that's the name of the radio lady, and discover that after getting caught up in the excitement of the whole excavation thing, she decided to buy the metal detector, and as a preparation for its arrival, she took a small walk through the hill where she found a weird bronze color artifact that appeared to have been broken off of something larger. Oh no, she fucked up. At that moment, some of the kids protesting arrive at the stone circle, so she panicked and instead of burying the artifact again or giving it to one of the archaeologists, she just dropped it in her pocket and ran away. Well, I guess we need to find her if we plan on getting all the artifact pieces. Remembering the scientific names written on Pete's journal, we go back to the station to write them down and then translate them into their common names, when all of a sudden we hear a familiar sound coming from inside the building. So we hurry inside to check on Ben, but unfortunately...
No! 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 Help! Oh no! Oh no! Ah!
We go through the back of the building to get to the office and enter through the big hole left by the sentry stone. Inside, we get a look at the CCTV footage showing the beginning of this hellish night and the fate of the unfortunate people at the station. By the way, these cutscenes look fucking funny as fuck. Like, it's all good and tense until you see a fucking boulder just going around the fucking place. God, I love this fucking boulder. We unlock the door that leads to the lobby and check around the room for anything useful. After picking up a pair of batteries, some paper, listening to a voicemail, and trying to claim our winnings from a scratch ticket,
Welcome to the Scratch Card Winners Hotline.
we enter a sort of patio right behind the garage filled with garbage and spare car parts. The only interesting thing here is the lens from a headlight that we immediately joink into our inventory and an old slot machine, but right now we don't have any coins for it, so instead we use a decrepit ladder to climb up to the roof and get inside the garage. Starting from the second floor, we investigate an office with nothing useful other than an oil can, and making our way to the first floor, we get hit with the second jump scare of the whole game. In the first floor, there's absolutely nothing except for a cool looking car. We can't interact with it though, so we just unlock the door and leave. Now, where can I get some coins? Oh yeah, the cash register. We use a spade we found in Pete's room a long time ago to force it open, and with the newly acquired coins, partake in the holy ritual of gambling. Oh baby, big money! Out of ideas, we go back to the swamp to put the batteries on the metal detector, but before even getting to the scarecrow with the fedora, we get hit with another cutscene.
I tried to leave. Like you, I tried. After you called. I tried to leave. Something's drawing me back. Back inside the circle. Every time I try to leave, a barrier in my mind forces me back up the hill. I can't!
Oh, so there actually is a sort of force field preventing people from leaving. Oh, nice in-game way of explaining an invis wall. Anyway, with the metal detector, we check around the swamp for any signs of the artifact pieces Conrad buried somewhere in the area, and while searching, we get startled by a random face in a wall. We find the piece in some ruins, along a note talking about how we first gave offerings to something, I imagine the entity trapped in the circle, and how now we turned our back on it, triggering his wrath and desire for revenge. Oh, okay. I see where this is going. I imagine at some point we'll have to give offerings to the stones to, like, calm the spirit or whatever the freak lives up there. We check the PC again to translate the scientific names to the common ones, and while trying to get back to the station, get owned by the stupid rock. Okay, I guess we missed something in the swamp. Back in the ruins, we notice a sort of compartment behind a cross, and with the spade, which apparently is the #1 tool to force open locks in the UK, we do the thing and get an ancient book referencing a sort of secret chest hidden in the well and a key for said chest. This time, there's no sexy looking boulder blocking our way, so we reach the station and get another cutscene.
Something happened tonight. There are forces at work. Maybe I know why. You're real, aren't you? It wasn't you. I realise that. I've watched you. You do know it's following you too. First it watches, and then lures you in. The voices in the mind. Whispers on the wind. Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Inside the well, we see a hole in the shape of the key we just got, and after using it, a rock from one of the walls rolls out of the way, exposing an ancient box with some parchments and coins inside. In parchment #1, a drawing shows a ritual to focus the power of the sun or moon, I'm not sure, it's like black and white, I cannot tell, into something. Parchment #2 contains a prayer to a goddess named Aneka, which simultaneously is the solution to the candle puzzle. I'll explain why in a minute. And parchment number 3 contains a note written by a priest that found himself in basically the same situation we are in right now and confirms the importance of the 7 offerings to the stones. Now, for the candle puzzle, we need to use some information found in one of the first books we read at the beginning of the game, where it is explained that colors are tied to the elements. The connections being red and orange equals fire, brown equals earth, green equals wind, blue equals water, and purple equals soul. Now, the prayer says, "Oh, Anika, Anika, from the bluest heights descend to our brown earthy soil. Bring your blessing of sacred water so that we may grow again." And the only elements named were water and earth, so we just lit the brown and blue candle. Oh, and you can throw some coins into the well for some good luck. I mean, it doesn't really affect anything, but we already have them, so might as well. This transforms the water into some sort of holy water. Duh. And we pick it up with one of the egg cups we got at the beginning of the game. Oh, so the egg cups are the new containers for the offerings. Ah, got it. Okay, arriving at the station, we get another cutscene.
What are you doing next? Or are you part of all this? It came for me. It came. There was something out there in the darkness. Or was it someone? Was it you watching me? Oh my God. It's here. I can see it. It's here. Run!
You know what? Maybe now we can go check the stone circle and place the first cup. So, we follow the dirt path through the forest and indeed, there's no evil rock blocking the entrance, so up we go. Going up the mountain, we see some small rocks following the direction of the path, and at the top we arrive at the excavation camp set up by Pete and Conrad. Out of pure luck, because I never turned off the metal detector, I get a signal from a pile of dirt, and after using the spade to dig, we find Conrad's hip flask. But don't pick it up, because I guess we don't need it? Sure, whatever. From here we can explore 2 different sections. One goes to the top of the mountain and another one into a clearing. In the clearing, more notes from Conrad explain the motivations from the entity living inside the circle. Apparently, the entity gave us gifts to guard and develop, and so the offerings serve as proof of the growth humans, or this community, have accomplished. But when people stopped showing the proof, the entity started to worry and sent the stones to return his children, the people from the community, back to where they came from, the earth. Aside from the notes, 3 stones named as the ritual stones by Conrad decorate the space. One of them has a hole at the top and is of a similar shape to the one depicted in the drawing we found in the well. Another one has an indentation with the shape of a hand, and the last one a recess with the shape of the artifact we've been trying to restore. Following the other path, we arrive at the stone circle, but I'm actually not sure where each offering goes. So let's go back, collect all 7 offerings, and reread both the field report and Pete's diary to check which cup goes where. So, after gathering all the information, we need 2. First, go to the garage and fill a cup with oil from the oil can. 2. Go to a vending machine located next to the rooms, buy 1 blackberry, 1 pear, and 1 gooseberry soda, and then go to the kitchen and mix them in a blender with a ratio of 2 blackberry to 1 gooseberry and 1 pear. 3. Mix in a mortar the acorn, some berries we found close to the well, and a red and white mushroom called the dried slumber. 4. Get some of the whiskey inside Conrad's hip flask as a replacement for barley. 5. Pick some salt from one of the tables at the restaurant. 6. Grab some holy water from the well. And finally, the 7th offering should be 2 different species of fish, or at least that's what the analysis indicated was in that urn. So naturally, I ran around looking for a pond or a refrigerator or something like that for about an hour and a half. But after not finding anything of the sort, I just gave up and read a guide because I was losing my mind. Listen to this. Apparently, instead of 2 fishes, I just needed some hair tonic from a bottle located right next to the car, right in the middle of the station. What? How does that make any sense? Yeah, I know hair tonic contains fish oil, but how are you supposed to know that that's a suitable replacement, man? I mean, there's a swamp area. It makes more fucking sense to just fucking sit and fish than it is to go around looking for a fucking hair tonic. Oh, you know what? Sure, whatever. This is the only puzzle that in hindsight makes kind of sense, but it really is just 100% video game logic. Anyway, we go back to the circle and following Pete's description, place from left to right. First, the hair tonic. Second, the oil. Third, the acorn and mushroom mix. Fourth, the whiskey. Fifth, the holy water. Sixth, the juice mixture. And finally, the salt. Once every rock is lit up, we go back and get another cutscene.
I can't get away. I can't get off the hill. The stones surround us. The outer circle snares the hill. I've seen it. The darkness is creeping. There's nowhere to hide. I have something. Something I found at the dig site. Something I stole from the trench up in the Barrow. You might need it. I'm damned. I can't do it. It's after me. It's hunting me. I have to stay hidden. I have to keep moving. Can I trust you? Can I trust us to do the right thing? I will leave it for you. You look like you know what to do. I have my own job. At least save yourself.
We finally have all the pieces, but how do we fuse them together? Maybe that's what the altar stones are for? We put the pieces in the stone, and with the lens concentrate the light and activate the ritual. At last, we go to the center of the mound and put the artifact in the slot carved on the earth. The floor caves in and we find ourselves right in front of an octagonal slab with carved symbols representing each stone and being surrounded by the cups we filled with the offerings. We place the artifact in its rightful place and...
I don't fully know what happened here on Barrow Hill tonight. Something awoke and in one moment vanished. Something ancient lay slumbering, forgotten, watching and waiting. Something we neglected to remember, to respect. I know it sounds completely crazy. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry I couldn't help you. That I wasn't there. Understand? I have to stay here. If this has been anything but a nightmare, and we don't wake up safe in our beds, if we don't heal the wounds, it will come again. Keep a lookout into the darkness. It's well past the witching hour and time for me to sign off. So, until BHR comes back on the air. This has been Emma Harry, hoping you have a well-earned rest for the lingering night.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Barrow Hill Curse of the Ancient Circle. I don't know about you guys, but I really liked the game. The atmosphere is amazing for building tension, but once the reveal of the monster comes, you just don't know how to react. I get that maybe that part might ruin the experience for some people, but come on, tell me if that is not one of the most unique monsters you've ever seen in a fucking video game. Apart from that, I really like this story. There's a lot of notes and environmental storytelling elements that really paint a vivid picture of the residents of the place and their day-to-day struggles. So by the end of the game, you empathize with them and feel bad for what happened. Now, the game is not perfect. It could improve in many ways. Like, for example, maybe place the items in a better area of the screen, given that a lot of times you would just go past them. Or maybe, I don't know, improve the fucking torch, like that shit didn't illuminate anything. But yeah, overall, if you like adventure games or don't mind slow gameplay and want to experience something different but at the same time familiar, I 100% recommend this game. It's legit like 5 hours of entertainment for a few pennies. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw and it made you feel all fuzzy inside, then please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Oh, also, if you think your friends might like this game, then share the video with them. Fuck it, the more the merrier. And if you have any game recommendations or want to tell me how much I suck at pronouncing the word imagery, then leave a comment down in the comment section. Anyway, babies, again, thank you so much for watching. Mwah, big kiss in the forehead, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.